been using the Sony A7IV for about 9 months now, mostly for video, but I do like taking photos at times as well, so combining the two together, that's why I got this series. The extra cropping possibilities definitely have come in very handy for me, and it is a very noticeable difference compared to the previous A7III. Take this picture of a frog, for example. Bam! The firmware version it originally came with out of the box also got improved later on with the version 1.01, which improved the IAF to even better, so I have no complaints with the sharpness. Worth mentioning is when this camera first came out, Lightroom had no support for its RAW files, but now since the version 11.1 there is a RAW support and you don't have to deal with any conversion workarounds anymore. Good. If you're coming from an A7III as well, or something in the lower budget range, and also are hyped for the video side, an early reminder to save up for a V90 memory card as well, to be able to shoot with those higher quality codecs. The file sizes you start getting with this may shock you at first, that is of course if you've never been around these types of video quality cameras.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Stay calm! Wait.
I'm just letting you know. I also did some tests with an empty 128GB memory card about how much you would be able to shoot with different file formats and frame rates. In the very maximum quality and intro codec with 50 FPS, it showed me that I was able to get 32 minutes of footage. That is in PAL Europe. Keep in mind that in NTSC these times vary, so in NTSC 60 FPS it showed me 27 minutes. I also did some file size tests for comparison, letting it record in each of these file formats for a minute. So now you could average how much you were able to shoot with your previous system and what this system would get you. With A7III at the time, the quality was fine as well, but I personally started to miss the higher frame rates for 4K and 10-bit to just step up a notch and experiment coloring wise. With this A7IV, it gives you all of that, 60 FPS, although with a 1.5 times crop, but also 10-bit capability, which gives you a lot of extra room in coloring, and why I'm also considering a one more switch. Well, this is something for a future video. Oh yeah, and you can also reach 120 FPS in 10-bit, although in 1080p and with S&Q mode, so you lose audio also. I also have a how-to video about it. I want to also go over the topic of overheating. When I first got this camera, my friend got this at the same time and said to test the camera by letting it record for like 20 minutes. Said that it was shutting down due to the high temperatures. This was a thing that also really quickly started spreading around in YouTube like as a big problem. But the fix was actually, and still is, quite simple. Just change that one default setting, which is auto power off temp. Set this to high and you're good to go. Although the camera gets noticeably warmer quite quickly when, for example, shooting in 4K 60 FPS intra, it has never reached that point for me where it would be like intolerable to grip it or uncomfortable. And this goes for my B-roll type of shots. Anything longer than that, I would assume you don't need to grip it anyway. And instead use a tripod for like interviews or podcasts, or a gimbal for other cases. Speaking of podcasts, the video recording limit, this camera doesn't have it anymore, which is a blessing, because trying to film our first ever podcast with the boys, well yeah, after 30 minutes it was emptiness. As for the batteries, it takes the same ones as the previous A7III, which is NP-FZ100, but because of the body upgrade, the A7III battery grip won't work anymore, so you'll have to upgrade it. Usability wise, I think one of the things worth mentioning here is this new dial wheel for 3 different modes. When I am running gunning and have wanted to quickly switch the mode, if I specifically want to hit the mode in the middle, I do really have to be consciously a little bit more precise about how I am spinning that wheel, because you can quite easily go past that. I love the flip out screen, which has come really handy for me in many cases. Actually, just quite recently I needed an angle where I had to film off the ledge of a rooftop and to the side, and it was really nice that I could turn the screen my way. Instead with the A7III it would have been like, bruh. Yeah, you know. In conclusion, I'm really happy with this camera. First time to the point where I feel like I really currently have absolutely no interest for the upcoming versions. The video quality is great, takes great pictures, autofocus is great, The depth focus feature for video is great. So yeah, great. So if you have any questions about it, comment down below and like the video if you did. A subscribe would be awesome, and as always, I'll see you soon. Peace.